Welcome to the CUENTAS CINE Youth Fest Film Chat. From submission to selection, what filmmakers should know, guidance from festival leaders. I'm your host, Raymond Arturo Perez. CUENTAS is sponsored by HITN. CUENTAS is not just a festival, it's a vibrant community of young storytellers committed to shaping a more inclusive future in film and TV, both in front and behind the camera. Before we start, I encourage you to visit our website at cineyouthfest.org to check out the top 10 film submissions before we announce the top 3 winners on October 16th. Don't miss the chance to see the incredible talent showcased this year. Your support means everything to these young filmmakers. Before we meet our guest, here's a little bit more about me.
Raymond Arturo Perez describes himself as a Mexican-American brown nerd from San Antonio, Texas. His friends and family can attest to these facts. He earned his nerdom 7 years in band as an alto saxophonist and 2 years as a drum major. Raymond received a bachelor's in radio, television, and film, and a bachelor's degree in marketing from UT Austin in 2014, and received a master's in screenwriting from the American Film Institute in 2019. He is the current chapter president for the Texas Ex's Los Angeles chapter, the third largest chapter of UT Austin alumni outside of Austin, Texas. That's pretty cool. As a queer Latina writer, Raymond aims to further drive representation in film and television by telling stories of Latinos, queer people, and other underrepresented and historically marginalized communities by centering them on messy, complex, and complicated characters. He was a staff writer on the second season of Netflix's original series, Selena. He was a playwright and producer at the 2018 Brown and Out Fest in LA. In 2022, Raymond was selected as a finalist for the inaugural Stars Hashtag Take the Lead Writers Intensive for his pilot, Chola Mom. In 2021, his pilot, The Only Gay in Waco, placed him as a finalist for the inaugural Out Loud list. In 2023, he was selected to be part of Sony Pictures' Television Diverse Writers Program. In 2024, he was part of the Latino Filmmakers Network at the Sundance Film Festival. Raymond is currently in post on his first short film directorial debut, White Space. Our host and star is growing. Yes! When he isn't writing at his table, he can be found on the dance floor, dancing to Brazilian funk and salsa or voguing with his house, the Royal House of Hervé Léger.
Thanks to the team for that video. Let me now introduce our first guest, James Woolley, Executive Director of the Miami Film Festival.
James Woolley, the newly appointed Executive Director of Miami-Dade College's acclaimed Miami Film Festival, brings a wealth of experience and a dynamic vision to one of the city's most celebrated cultural events. With a career spanning nearly 2 decades, Woolley has been at the forefront of organizing and running major film festivals across the globe. From Sydney to San Francisco, demonstrating his expertise in festival management, programming, and marketing. Over the years, Woolley has worked on more than 20 large-scale film festivals, including those in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, showcasing his ability to manage complex events and cater to diverse audiences. In 2017, Woolley was named Head of Marketing and Customer Relations at the Sydney Film Festival, where he played a crucial role in rebranding the organization and implementing strategies to increase attendance. His leadership skills and innovation approach to festival management were further recognized during his tenure as the Executive Director of Frameline, the world's longest-running LGBTQ+ film festival, and one of the largest on the West Coast. As the new executive director of MFF, Woolley is committed to enhancing the festival's international programming and furthering its reach to audiences in Miami and beyond. His experience in developing programming, marketing, and box office operations, coupled with his passion for film and the arts, positions him as an ideal leader to drive the Miami Film Festival into its next chapter. With plans to nurture relationships with filmmakers, distributors, sponsors, donors, and the local film community, community, Woolley is poised to elevate MFF's reputation on the international stage, ensuring its legacy and prestige are recognized worldwide. His ambition to build on the festival's success and chart a new vision for the future reflects deep commitment to enhancing the vibrant arts and cultural scene in Miami.
Hey there, it's great to be here. It's lovely to see you all.
Nice to meet you, James. We're super excited to have James here with us today. And now I'd like to introduce our other guest, Veronica Caicedo, the CEO and founder of the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival.
Veronica Caicedo, CEO and founder of the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival, whose mission is to create platforms that allow a diverse pool of influencers in filmmaking to reach a broader audience, has talent in her DNA. Remember this song? It was written and composed by her dad, Romeo Leonardo Caicedo, as a gift to his wife, Veronica's mother. Of course, Veronica was destined to make a difference in the entertainment industry. She is an innovative director, producer, and writer who has overseen more than 25 successful film and/or theater productions. Through her experiences and extensive creativity, she has used her unique vision to direct projects as Black Latina, The Storm, They Call Me La Lupe, just to name a few. Caicedo has served as theater director for Project Reach Youth, Teatro El Puente, and the Losaida Players at Losaida Inc., where she trained adolescents in safer sex using theater and film. Her latest endeavor for a youth program is called Imagination Beyond Expectation, a film program in IPR-HFF teaching young people the basic A to Z in filmmaking. Veronica was Filmmakers Selected Official for the 2008 Soul Dance Film Festival in Salt Lake City, Utah. In 2015, she was honored for Women's History Month by LAIA, Latin American Intercultural Alliance, and LULAC, League of United Latin American Citizens. Mrs. Caicedo holds a BA in Literature with a Drama Studies concentration from SUNY College at Purchase. Her father gave us a continent as a gift. She has given us the continent of her talent and commitment to us all.
Welcome both to today's film chat on From Submission to Selection, What Filmmakers Should Know, Guidance from Festival Leaders. I'm super excited to have both of y'all. I think when we were coming up with the discussions that we wanted to cover this year, this is one that we felt was underrepresented in panels in general, and one that we were really excited for, especially folks just starting out their careers in storytelling, kind of getting into the nitty-gritty and seeing like what are the do's and don'ts of submitting to film festivals. So thank you again. And to start off, I wanted to ask Veronica if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey on how you became a festival director.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I have been producing and directing theater and film for a long time, and I just felt that this business lacked the presence of women in filmmaking and in theater. You know, we need to expose ourselves and really do the things that we love. And I felt that it was really important after going out and attending some film festivals that we needed to see some of our culture, our heritage as Puerto Ricanos. I'm half Puerto Rican, half Ecuadorian, but in this situation, I decided to create a festival where it shows more of our presence as Latinos, as Puerto Ricanos, and as women. So I think that one of the reasons why I did it is because I felt that my presence in film festivals and just in general wasn't active enough, and I felt by doing my own film festival, I was able to include my projects. And that's one of the reasons why it came up and why I had someone push me to say, you should do it. You're a risk taker. You know, you have many challenges in front of you, but you can, what's one more? Take it, do it. And I did it. And 15 years later, we are here.
That's incredible. Congratulations. I
Thank you.
Love that you specifically mentioned kind of highlighting something that was absent in the film industry. And I'm curious, James, as you've been a part of many different film festivals, I do feel like there is a unique fingerprint to each of them, and I was curious to kind of hear how you feel the Miami Film Festival's fingerprint differs from some of the other film festivals that you've been in charge of.
Yeah, they're all different. They've all got their own flavor. The best thing about a film festival is it often represents the city that it's in. And so that means that a festival in San Francisco is so different from one in Miami, and it's so different from one in Sydney, Australia. And Miami is wonderful. It's got a huge multicultural community, people from all over the world, and they're desperate to see content from where they're from or what their families are about. And I love that film lets you see the world, and so you can go to a festival and watch a bunch of films and see things from all over and see yourself reflected or see other communities you wanted to learn more about. Miami's got a great flavor to it. And a lot of what we play is in Spanish, of course. That's the city of Miami. And that's what people love to see. And that's what our biggest nights are. And that's very different from other cities I've lived in, but it makes this festival so special and so much fun. So it's a wonderful festival to come to.
So I'm just starting out my journey as a filmmaker. I'm in post-production on a short, and about to start submitting to film festivals. And I do know from colleagues and friends who've gone through the process many times, it does sometimes feel like you're sending it into the void. So I was hoping, Veronica, if you could start us off, like what really happens between submitting and then being selected? Can you talk a little bit more about that journey?
Sure, sure. My festival is an all people's film festival. It's about celebrating who we are as filmmakers around the world globally. We don't just offer or have selected films from Puerto Rico. Like this year, we have films from Colombia, from Egypt, from Iran, from Iraq, from Russia. I mean, we have tons of films, and the beauty of the festival is really receiving these films, these submissions that are actually excited to be a part of who we are as far as the mission, as far as our heritage and our culture. I think it's really important that we as filmmakers really trust what you do, read the rules and regulations before you go out and really submit to these films, to these film festivals. I think that a lot of times filmmakers just overlook that, and they just start submitting anywhere, and that may sometimes not be wise, because there are some, there are some bolts when you do submit. Ours, the only, I guess, the only one of the only submissions regulations is that we need to make sure that these films are not on YouTube.com. We want to make sure that we present films that are versatile, that are diverse, but also have the opportunity not just to have people go and see it on YouTube, but see it in, on the big screen. So that's really important when it comes to submitting.
Amazing. And James, if you could take this another step further, for folks who don't know what programmers are, can you go a little bit on that and how filmmakers can not just submit but position your film for like the right audience and context?
Yeah, so a festival, especially a large one like Miami Film Festival, hires a range of programmers. And these are people who get paid to watch movies for a living, which sounds fun, but let me tell you, it's a lot of work. And they basically take the submissions and through a process ensure that every film is watched and that they can then put together a final selection. What happens in that process is that typically a film is watched 2 or 3 times. It's typically considered mainly for, will this work for the audience of the festival that it's screening at? And that's why you, as someone who's submitting a film, should really learn about the festivals that you're submitting to and think, does my film fit into what they are looking for? And a programmer will watch these films, they'll put together a shortlist, and then they'll try and put together, especially for short, packages that feel thematic or feel like they have something interesting to say. more good films are submitted than are ultimately selected. Tough decisions are having to be made. And sometimes a rejection doesn't mean that your film isn't good. Sometimes amazing films just don't fit. And I want to encourage filmmakers to think that rejections doesn't mean your film isn't amazing. It may just have not been able to squeeze in. I really encourage filmmakers to sit down, learn about festivals, and decide which ones feel right for them based on themes or based on identities or whatever it may be. And factor this in as a little bit of budget, because unfortunately, most festivals do require a bit of a fee. So factor that into the budget of making your film, and then sit down and decide which ones you're going to submit to. Don't be shy to occasionally ask for a free waiver. You're not always going to get a yes, but I believe in asking. Send an email. You never know which place will say, sure, I'll give you a waiver. You can submit for free. But when you're doing your budget for your film, yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to factor in a budget for submissions too. It's one of the unfortunate things of filmmaking.
That is definitely a piece of advice that a lot of filmmakers have told me as I am starting out my journey. Do not forget to budget for film festival submissions. Veronica, are there other big pieces of advice that you would have for first-time filmmakers submitting to your festival or just entering the film festival circuit in general?
I think it's really important when you have a film selected in a film festival like ours. It's really important that you really go out and see what's out there. Really, submitting to our festivals, you get passes. You also get tickets, so you can really go out and enjoy the 5 days of the festival, and any other special events like networking and brunches and panels, because that's where you're going to meet other people just like you that are learning that are learning to build your clientele in just any department of filmmaking. And I think that in order for people to know who you are as a filmmaker, it's always good to just really expose who you are and really promote your film. If it's something that you submitted and it's been selected, I'm sure it's really good. It's important to really enjoy your film on the big screen. And because, filmmakers don't have the money to do that individually and invite investors and producers. So here's the one time that you have a chance to see your film programmed in a film festival, whether it's one time or two times, to really go out and see what you did as a director, as a producer, as an actor, because it's part of your reel. So it's really important. I don't select the films in my festival. I used to when we first started out, but that's why you have different departments to do that. And like James said, doesn't necessarily mean because your film has not been or wasn't selected that it's not a good film. Unfortunately, we just have a limited of time to really put these films up in the time that we're given.
James, I wanted to ask, are there any common mistakes that you see new filmmakers make when submitting their films to festivals? Any advice on what filmmakers should avoid?
Look, I think people sometimes have high expectations and they might be counting on getting into festivals that maybe they're not ready for. So I think, again, know your film. Feel free to submit to the biggest festivals on the planet, but I think you should be realistic if you're going to get into Cannes in France. Like you should definitely try and know what your film is, and if it's a first time indie short, then maybe your local film festival is the best place to start. But otherwise, again, thematically know who you're submitting to. You should understand the types of festivals you're submitting to. Do your research. If it has a particular theme or hook, like it is an American Latino film, there are so many amazing festivals for you to submit to where they're looking for your work. Put your money there rather than in some other festivals where that may not be their priority. Spend some time researching. I think also marketing your film is half the job. Making it is half, and then the other half is selling it, right? Put some real effort into that. I love people that make an effort with the photos from the shoot, and everything looks amazing. Have a good poster, have a good synopsis, really sell it to us. Because ultimately, programmers fall for marketing too, just like everybody else does in the world. And if you've got amazing marketing of your film, we're probably going to be like, wow, this looks great, like hook us in. So that's another thing to really do is put effort, as much effort into making the film as into selling it to us later. So that's another thing that I really, really encourage, Don't skimp on a stills photographer during a shoot. Don't, put a poor poster together. Don't forget to write what the selling synopsis is to us, sell me it. Write that paragraph that makes me go, oh my gosh, I have to see this now. Because I think that is important, Let's get it out there. Let's make it exciting.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that I am like constantly reminding myself of too, is like, if these film festivals are selecting your work, they want those seats filled. And so any way we could get those seats filled so that people are actually watching your stories, it's super duper important. So good to know. And I hope everyone that's watching is listening. Veronica, I wanted to take it one step further on programmers. Is there any way that you recommend filmmakers increase their chances of getting their work noticed by festival programmers? Are there any deal breakers that might cause a film to be rejected regardless of its quality? Anything you might have to add there?
I I I believe that when it comes down to my festival, one of the things that we do not accept is the downgrading on Puerto Ricanos and nothing positive coming out of it. I think, the reason why I put this film together is because it's important to really look up to who we are as Latinos, as Boricuas, and if we have people submitting anti-Puerto Riqueño films in the festival, that is a big X. No good. But again, if it starts out as something like that, but it ends up being something positive, then of course it is selected.
I wanted to wrap things up by asking both of y'all, for filmmakers starting out their journey, with respect to film festivals or just respect to storytelling, are there any pieces of advice that you have for folks watching?
Don't be afraid to go out and tell your story. I think it's really important. Everyone has a story to tell, and I think it's really important. And you can take one story and give it to five filmmakers, and it will be a complete different story every time you put it together. So your story is special. Your story must be told. Take that chance, take that risk, do it, because this is the best way to have people really know who you are as an independent filmmaker and see your rise as a filmmaker. So just don't be afraid to put obstacles in front of you. Remove them and really, really embrace what you have to say and really take it and study your craft is really important. We are always learning, and the moment you stop learning, it's the moment that there's a problem. We want to make sure you're constantly learning, you're constantly building and creating these beautiful stories is about what we as festival executive directors are looking to see. So just don't be afraid to take that risk in your journey becoming a filmmaker.
I would add that once you are making films, enjoy film festivals where it sounds scary. We might look daunting from the outside, but I promise you, we're all really nice people and we want you to have fun. Come to your festivals and have a good time. Don't forget to go to the happy hours if they have them. Don't forget to go to the industry day. Don't forget to go say hello to people. Don't be shy. Go up and say, hey, I'm a filmmaker too, to other filmmakers. Enjoy the experience. You never know who's in the room. Sometimes other amazing filmmakers or programmers or distributors, buyers could be there and see your work. You just want to enjoy it. So don't be scared by us. That's the big thing, Festivals are a great tool for reaching audiences. And you don't want to make a film without anyone seeing it, So come, let festivals help you reach audiences. A lot of fun, I promise you.
let's say we have discussed a little bit about promotion of the film, but let's say you've made it into the film festival, your film has already screened, and there are these networking opportunities. What would you recommend filmmakers to kind of gain or seek out in these, in these happy hours or panels, or these moments to connect with others?
Look, I'll quickly go just to say you're just looking for connections. The best filmmakers I've seen that do this find these, they watch people's films, then they go up to them afterwards at the festival and say, I loved your film. You should see mine. And then the best people then work together. They create new work. It's amazing, right? What a better way to meet talented people. So I think the people who do it the best are not shy. They're looking for collaborators and they're looking to continue their career. And I love seeing it when it happens. So go and just enjoy things, but watch people's films and then ask them to watch yours. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I think it's important for you to really go out and really see these films and really do your research. So when you approach people, you know exactly what to say. And if you're shy, what better way but to really go out and just take one step at a time and really promote who you are as a filmmaker. But really go out. Don't have any hesitations. It's really important to really create and build your who you are, and really promote yourself as a filmmaker, because that's how you start connecting with other people and building your contacts and building these relationships so that you can create and do films together. And so yeah, so I really, don't be shy. There's nothing, I know how it is when you're first starting out and you're a little shy, but take that first step. Once you do it once, twice, 3 times, you become a pro at it.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, James. I do feel like this conversation is one that we don't have as often, and this is, an industry that's not just show, but it's also business. And this is super duper valuable information. So thank you both for joining us. I want to remind everyone watching to visit our website at cineyouthfest.org before we announce the top 3 winners on October 16th, and make sure to follow us on social media. Here's a special shout out to our sponsors. I'm Raymond Arturo Perez. Thank you.